Hi, welcome to Bad Tree Productions. They call me J-Bo. So one thing we haven't been doing really that much is showing any of this project here. And what we have here is a 1950 Dodge Coronet. And the story is that, the story behind it is that my wife actually watches our videos, and she's under the impression that we have a lot of fun working on project vehicles and whatnot. So she saw this, and I guess she likes this shape of a body, I guess, because it reminds her of her childhood. So, but it's kind of, you know, that's kind of out of our wheelhouse. We usually typically kind of focus on Dodge and Plymouth A body cars, on occasional B body, and we don't have any money for E body stuff, but that's kind of what we do. That's kind of what, you know, we specialize in. And this is kind of a learning curve, you know, for us. But, you know, it's like what I always say, everything's nuts and bolts. You know, you take it apart, you fix it, put it back together, and hopefully it's better. So anyway, I'm going to just kind of walk you around and show you what this thing is kind of all about. And then I'll show you what we need to do, what we've kind of done so far. So let's just start. Anyway, let's look at this headlight. It's got that. Okay, look at this. There's a plate underneath. It looks like Madonna's bra, kind of like that, but this is actually a pair of horns. And there's this plate here, an access panel that accesses, I don't know, the front of the radiator, I guess. I don't know. I thought this was kind of interesting. It's a underdash hood popper, and I was under the impression that they invented those like in 1972. But no, they've had them as far back as at least the 50s, I guess, or 1950. This is what the crest, the Dodge crest, looks like. It's kind of colorful, I guess. I'm not really familiar with it. A lot of stainless, you know. These bumpers are made out of, it's not really a gauge, it's kind of like 1/8" steel. But a lot of this car is actually built, I mean, it's built to last, you know. With the exception of this thing here, which is just kind of really amazes me. I believe this is like the heater core under here, because there's a heater hose going to it, and then that must be the core in here, and then this is a plenum, and this is made out of like what a tar paper house is made out of. It's just like crap that they molded and then stapled it, and it's actually still here. So an old gas bottle from back when I was trying to get it running. I actually got it, trying to get it running on 4 cylinders until we came to the conclusion that we checked compression and found that these two front ones are dead, which leads us to believe that there's a break in the head gasket. So I ordered up a head gasket and then a water pump gasket, and then I was monkeying around with the throttle on this thing here, and I broke the throttle shaft. So I ordered another carburetor, got that off eBay for like 60 bucks, and it looks like it's in pretty good shape. About the same carb, I guess, whatnot. But so anyway, yeah. Well, here's what the old color originally looked like. It's kind of a, I don't know, kind of a depressing green. Look at these looks like factory markings here with like chalk or something. I don't know. It's like a number 5 and kind of a B. This looks like it's a drain for maybe the cowl vent, I guess. We'll have to make sure that that's unplugged. It's an oil bath air cleaner. There's the backside of the radiator. It says Gates Truck and Bus on the fan belt. Gates, Bus, and Truck. Okay, so there's a 6-volt battery. Still a 6-volt system in this rig. And you know, I tell you what, so for the most part, what we're going to do is just get it up and running. And with an eye toward safety, I guess, and somewhat making it more dependable. So yeah, anyway, but oh, look at this here. So there's like a lifting eye right there, and that must have been kind of like a lifting eye that they would have used on the assembly line, but it just is still along for the ride. Kind of funny. This is kind of some felting. The wipers, I believe they're electric. So flat glass for a windshield. All right. All the glass is pretty good except for the driver's side door all the way across there, as you can see. The body is, you know, used to be, I don't know, maybe a taxi cab, and they painted it flat black. All right, here's a little decal here. It says City of Moline Incorporated, August 29th, 1872. It's dated 1981. Passenger vehicle tax expires August 1981. So I don't know what the hell that was, but you know, they got you coming and going. It says Dodge up here, a little bit of a kind of a Ram, I guess, type of hood ornament. Big hood. Oh, it's heavy too. Oh, there we go. Yeah, turn signal indicators on all four corners, I believe. 15-inch wheels. I kind of thought that was kind of unique, I guess, for some odd reason. I don't know why. It's actually got nuts instead of, some of them had just a bolt that went in, I guess. But this has nuts, and maybe they changed. I have no idea. Like I said, I'm out of my wheelhouse on this. So far I've been working on the mechanical aspects of it. And my wife, Brenda, she did her part by adding this this little tree air freshener and a pair of fuzzy dice. So, and then that's where she kind of bailed on the whole project. As you can see, the master cylinder is actually under the gas pedal here, and look at how crusty these things are. That's kind of crazy. Oh, there's the high beam, low beam switch down here. Here's like the, I don't know if that's a hood popper deal, which I thought was from the future. This is the brake lever, and I believe that works. So this thing, you can actually get it to do that, which is kind of cool. Oh my God. Oh, so it's showing 49,000 miles. I don't know if that's actual. I don't know. Judging by this door panel, who knows? It's just so old that even just sitting around, it could have just kind of took on this age. Headliner looks to be in good repair. One thing that I thought was kind of unique about this was that the driver's side door, actually I thought it operated the dome light, but I don't see a switch now, do I? No, I don't. That's weird. But there is a dome light switch on that door only. Not that door, not this door, but just that door there. So if you wanted to get in this vehicle and you wanted the dome light to operate, you'd have to come in through that door. So I believe this is original material on the seat, I think. Unless it was recovered, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, big old steering wheel, plenty of leverage. Ooh, that, you know, that actually, of course, they got it jacked up. But one thing I'm not sure about it. Oh, this is kind of weird here, so I'll probably have to take this apart. But somebody must, I don't know, punched it or something. I have no idea, but it's broken. That needs to be replaced. Speedometer, I guess it goes up to 100. Fuel gauge, oil pressure, temp gauge, an amp gauge. Got headlights here. I actually turned them on. I had headlights on it last night. Panel lights. Okay, so it's an individual switch for that. It's kind of a rheostat or something, whatever. These are the wipers here, and the wipers do work on it. Here's a cigarette lighter. Yeah, the dash is kind of that fake kind of wood look to it. So that's pretty luxurious. It says Dodge, big radio. The radio does not work, okay? And I know some of these things have tubes and you gotta let them warm up for, you know, 3-4 minutes. But this, I let it go for quite a while and it doesn't do a damn thing. There's the heater controls down here. Cool, on, off. Defrost. Okay, it's got a couple of, yeah, defrost vents up here. This thing here is like it's a, whatchamacallit, compass. All right, I don't know what this is. Maybe that's to calibrate it. Pull, what's that say? All, what? Pull? Rear view mirror mounted up here, kind of neat. It's got some, you know, visors. Yeah, like I said, the headliner's pretty decent in this. Glove box, that must be an ashtray there. Clock, all right. A pretty nice, spacious, roomy vehicle. There's that carburetor I was talking about. right there. It's pretty clean. So, but we'll rebuild that. I saw a rebuild kit for it. It's like $100. That's just something about these cars. I don't know what the hell, but parts are not real cheap. I mean, they're not cheap like the A-body stuff. Like for example, gas tank for an A-body. I mean, we've been picking them up for, you know, 89 bucks on eBay and whatnot. The gas tank on this thing was $500, and what $500 got you was the filler tube, the sending unit. The sending unit is actually underneath this panel here, or panel, this little plate, this little dome. There's a wire for it right there. What else did we get? That was about it, I think. Oh, and the straps too. Got the straps. Oh, so there's shocks. I put shocks in this too. Just the other day. That's leftover shocks there. So what I did was I actually, and then I do this all the time. I'm just a retard, but I ordered 2 sets of front shocks for this. I don't know why, but then I had to go turn around and order a set of rear shocks. So, all right, let's crawl underneath this rig, see what the hell we got going on. Oh no. So there's a gas tank. We're pretty proud of that. Yep. There's our fill tube, brand new. Little coupler hose right here. Now this is kind of unusual. They got this little port right here in the corner, and I don't know. I imagine there's probably a tube that runs, you know, back here somewhere. But that's kind of how they did this. Anyway, I did this. This is kind of the source of some frustration. So if you go ahead just grab a piece of like fuel line like this, and you go to tap it into this, or screw it onto this, these threads will actually bottom out, and then this tube will just spin. Okay, so I've done a little research on this, and there's actually a ferrule, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right, ferrule that's that makes contact with like an inverted flare kind of arrangement inside of here, and then it makes contact with the end of this tubing, or tubing that originally came in the car. So okay, there's my shock too. You can see, yeah, the new one's back here. All right, so okay, on this tank too, now here's something else I did. So here you see this other piece of tube. I actually right, I don't know if you can see it or not, but yeah, right there. I added a tube at the fill tube area, and that's my return line. Okay, so I actually this is quarter inch line, and I drilled the hole in the fill tube just a little bit smaller than the fill line itself, and then swedged it with a punch, and then soldered it, and it's in place nice and firmly. So anyway, then I ran this piece up here. So this will be a return line system. So, and it's just something you'd kind of do with older cars with today's fuels, you know, that they don't burn very good. Anyway, and here's I'm starting with here's my fuel line here, 5/16 and quarter inch. This will be the return line, but it's just kind of roughed in place right now. I'm actually waiting for parts for that. But interestingly, the rear axle, I don't know when they invented the 8 3/4 axle, but that's what that looks like, by golly. I don't know. So, but it looks like it's kind of a leaker, so we'll have to check that out. Yeah, the brakes, that's going to be another can of worms to get into, so learning curve on that. I've seen videos on how they adjust the brakes, and you actually have to manually adjust these brakes on this. There's no automatic adjustment to them whatsoever. So, but once you get them set, you know, they're good. This is kind of neat. This is like an old original exhaust clamp hanger, and it was, you know, it was built to last. I mean, a lot of this shit under here is built to, I mean, it is some heavy duty stuff, even though it looks kind of crusty and shit. But yeah, with that being said, there is actually a hole kind of by the passenger side that we'll have to patch. But look how long that damn muffler is. It's about 2 foot long. I imagine this was pretty quiet. So that's not a real U-joint that I'm used to, so it's some kind of, I don't know, thing that slides back and forth somehow. Oh, this is something too. Look at this back here. There's a, looks like there's a switch for the brake switch, brake pedal switch that tells you that the brakes aren't working. And you know, it's a single pot reservoir too, so you only got one shot at it, you know, basically. If you know that your brakes are going bad, you get them fixed. And that's what we're kind of dealing with here on this. I don't know if there's a, I'm sure there's probably an upgrade of some sort where you can get a dual reservoir master cylinder for this. You know, so you split the front and the back, you know, together, and they're independent of each other. Which would be, you know, at least they give you a fighting chance to live, you know. So that's what we're gonna have to look into. And if you know of anything, I mean, a lot of you guys watching this, you know way more about this rig than I do. So make sure you scream it out to us in the comments down below. We'd sure appreciate it. But I do have new brake lines for it. A previous owner, looks like he came back here and replaced this line here, so that looks like it's good to go. But there are other portions of it, like right there, that aren't that great. But fabricating my own brake lines, that's not hard to do. Just like these fuel lines, we'll get these all sorted and kind of roughed in. And there is a place there where it kind of runs kind of close to the muffler, and I've got some I don't have it here, but I've got some heat shield that I'm going to go ahead and wrap the primary fuel line, at least with that. Although I don't expect it to really be an issue. Although they do have a shield kind of right there on the floor, but that's just for passenger comfort more than anything, because you know, heat rises when you're just kind of parked still. But yeah, it might be a good idea to insulate that line. Up at that end of the drive shaft, you can see the emergency brake is that drum that's around the drive shaft. You know, the front snout of the drive shaft. Yeah, I don't know what the hell. Anyway, ow. So yeah, the previous guy that had this claimed that it ran. You just squirted some gas on the carburetor and she'll start right up. Well, that never happened for us. So, and then he also mentioned something about this thing having a dynamic flight transmission. So again, if you guys know more about that than I do, let me know, because I don't know, I guess you use a clutch pedal to start out, like in first or whatever. That's got a first high low, and then it's got a second high low or something like that. I'm not really sure, and I'm not really even sure. This could be a 3 on the tree, just a regular manual transmission, but I don't know. I just don't know. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get a few things sorted out on this, and we'll get back with you. Okay, back up front here, we've got this thing here. It says, I think that's field battery it's armed, or armature, or I don't know. Is that like a voltage regulator? That looks like a typical starter relay, I believe. Here's a little plaque that says Dodge, Division of Chrysler Corp, Detroit, Michigan, made in the USA. That's kind of neat. This is a body number, and it's got a number stamped on it. Chrysler, Detroit, Michigan. This little thing here, this little bushing or whatever that the wires pass through, is shaped like this, and it has this little spring clip on it. There's another thing down here, but it's shaped like this. These cables in that tube, that must be oil pressure, I would say. That looks like an oil, is that an oil filter or what? I don't know. Coil, there's an oil fill cap. Well, this is kind of something too, but it's a positive ground, so this is positive and it's right to the block. So somehow that's going to confuse somebody. I don't know, maybe myself, but yeah, that's a solenoid, starter solenoid. Okay, yeah. So they're kind of a Rube Goldberg kind of affair there for the accelerator pedal. It pivots there and then does that. But yeah, something kind of interesting. Anyway, like a virgin. So anyway, the plan is to kind of get everything underneath done while it's up on jack stands. Okay, because it's a bitch throwing this tank. You don't know which way whether it's coming or going, but it's kind of a pain in the ass getting it up off the damn ground. But I want to just make sure that I get everything taken care of underneath that I can get taken care of, and then go ahead and work on the head gasket thing, because Look at this. My arms only go this far. It's like 32 inches from the engine block to the outside fender. That's about half of my body length. And it's up here. See, look at, that's my gut right here. So I'm going to drop this thing down on the ground and then go ahead and attack the head. So hopefully it's a good little runner once we get her, you know, kind of all dialed in and stuff, and kind of tweak a few things here and there. And then hopefully we clear up some space because we want to work on other stuff. You know what I'm saying? All right, so there you have it for this episode of the 50 cal. We call it the 50 cal because my wife's uncle Calvin had one kind of like this, and so we call it the 50 cal, but whatever. Anyway, yeah, I want to get this out of here so we can get this in here and get to working on it. And that's gonna about do it for me. So anyway, like, share, subscribe, and let me know what you think, because I sure the hell don't know what the hell I'm doing. But like I said, nuts and bolts. But anyway, we'll show more of it. Adios.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon.
Okay, no, I was wrong. Okay, see, it's the passenger side has the light switch. Okay, passenger side. This passenger side front door, this passenger side rear door has that switch. Okay, but the driver's side does not have a light switch for the dome light. And this is kind of weird too. Two different dome light switches. So there's that, and then there's that. So, you know, why who knows? Anyway, there's the original color again. I don't know if you can see it better. Kind of a greenish, dark green.